The world is flat. Elon Musk is going to Mars. And dinosaurs walked with humans. These are just some bold predictions. But we've got some that will help you in fantasy football. Producer! Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast right here on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. I am bigz. With me are Grindberg and our producer Schultzy. As often in this episode, we're each unveiling our top 3 bold predictions for the 2025 fantasy football season, from breakout candidates to hot takes that'll either make us look like visionaries or have the receipts pulled by week 3. Shout out Fantasy Receipts on Twitter. How are you guys doing? We are fresh back from Canton. I'm just now over my jet lag. Also, I'm not dead.
You made it home, and that is the biggest miracle that we could have hoped for if you'd have saw the Friday night stuff. But anyways, we're going to forget that, and we're going to talk about our bold predictions. Not bold rolling downstairs, but bold as in predicting what's going to happen in this fantasy season. And you know what? These are kind of like our dark stabs, our long shots, but there is some sort of, indicator that it might actually happen. So, bigz, let's start off with you, man. What is your number 3 guy?
So my number 3 bold prediction surrounds the idea that the University of Tennessee is such a simplified non-NFL system that it can't produce a productive wide receiver in fantasy football. And I say nay. My bold prediction is that in 2025, 3 former University of Tennessee wide receivers finish in the top 48 in fantasy points, including 2 in the top 36. And of course, I'm talking about Cedric Tillman of the Cleveland Browns, Jaylin Hyatt of the New York Giants, and D'onte Thornton, don't call him Deontay, of the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Cedric Tillman had an absolute mini breakout last year in Cleveland, where he was clearly, in the games that he played alongside Jerry Jeudy, Tillman was the wide receiver 1 in that offense. Same offensive coordinator, same head coach, different quarterback situation, but Cedric Tillman is the dude. His talent is through the roof, and his fantasy points per game when he was healthy and on the field, even with Jerry Jeudy, placed him very high in the fantasy rankings. Jaylin Hyatt is a third-year breakout candidate who now has 2 deep ball quarterbacks who are going to be competing for the job throughout the 2025 season, and Russell Wilson and Jackson Dart. We know Daniel Jones wasn't it in New York, but as far as the New York Giants quarterbacks go, even Jameis Winston can get the ball deep to Jaylin Hyatt. So you've got Malik Neighbors, who's going to be the 160 target guy. That's not a bold prediction. You got Wan'Dale Robinson, who works underneath, and he's good for probably 100 targets, but they're going to be throwing the ball 400 or 500 times at least, and Jaylin Hyatt is a deep threat. He's also developing his route tree as a third-year breakout candidate. He is going to finish in the top 48 as well. Then you have D'onte Thornton, the 4th-round rookie from the Las Vegas Raiders, who's essentially 6'5". He runs a 4.3 40. He's 215 pounds, which means a couple years of NFL weight training, and he's adding 20, and he is the exact physical profile shared by Calvin Johnson. That 4.3 speed, he's going to lose defenders in the open field. You can see it happening in camp. You can see it happening all over the place in Las Vegas at this point, and he has quickly emerged. As soon as they opened training camp, he was running with the ones. So he is the X receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders out of the gate. He's going to get open. He ran the full route tree when he was in Oregon. He said a couple weeks ago, I've been running the entire route tree since I was in high school. Tennessee only had him run 3 different routes, like deep routes, posts, and comebacks. 40% comebacks. That's crazy. But guess who's really great at comebacks? D'onte Thornton. And guess who throws a really, really great deep ball? In fact, top 3 in the NFL, Geno Smith. D'onte Thornton is going to be a rookie breakout. It's going to happen fast. And so that's my bold prediction for 25. My number 3 one. 3 former University of Tennessee wide receivers finished top 48, 2 in the top 36.
It's pretty aggressive considering, Hyatt really didn't play much last year. So I think that's an aggressive take. I think that, you have some stability there with those other two. I'm a little worried about Hyatt, but you bring up some good points here with their deep ball passes from their quarterback. And yeah, that's not outside the realm of opportunity here. I really like your D'onte Thornton, if you will, take their bigs. I think he's going to be steaming up. And you've been on him all offseason. So you can kind of use that as a feather in your cap as kind of being the first person out there to underline D'onte Thornton. Now, I'm going to talk about a quarterback here entering the league. We entered it last season, but, we know what ended up with J.J. McCarthy last year before the season. It didn't start. So sometimes bold isn't reckless. It's just forward thinking. And that's why I'm going to plant my flag on J.J. McCarthy. He's going to finish 2025 as a top 10 quarterback this season. The Vikings just didn't draft him. They built around him. Kevin O'Connell dialing up one of the most QB-friendly schemes in the league. It's no coincidence that replacement-level guys like Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins, and even last year, Sam Darnold, who finished as the QB7, now imagine giving him the same offensive blueprint to a first-rounder with elite efficiency and good mobility. McCarthy enters the NFL as, one of the best quarterbacks with a top-tier supporting cast, Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson, and rejuvenated Aaron Jones, and you sprinkle in some Jordan Mason. And I'm looking at that newly, reinforced offensive line. He don't need to throw 45 times to rack up points in a game. He's going to have some rushing upside as well. I think the situation here in Minnesota is going to be good. Like I mentioned last year, QB7 for Sam Darnold, top 10 finish under O'Connell last year. Now, we look at, McCarthy's college passing efficiency. He was in the 90th percentile in passing rate. He was one of the best, quarterbacks entering the draft last year. And I still think that he's got some great additions here with some O-line starters. So JJ, for me, in the right system, is the star that I'm looking for. And a bold prediction is him finishing as a top 10 quarterback.
Love it. The Mike Shanahan tree, the Kyle Shanahan tree, Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, Clint Kubiak. Love it. Although you didn't say Ty Felton, which I've been tapping Ty Felton all over the place because of the Jordan Addison suspension. But I do have a question. Does your flag have a suction cup on it? Because it seems like JJ McCarthy will be out for a while if you plant your flag on him, like you said.
Oh no, fair enough. Yeah, I won't plant it right on him. I'll plant it around him. Okay. All right, it'll be in the soil, not anywhere near his body. All right, Schultzy, let's get into your guy, like your bold prediction, if you will.
Well, going up to Buffalo here, we got some pass catchers, and I really liked Josh Palmer here. Right when he signed, I thought this was a really nice fit. Kind of a deep ball guy. They've utilized that with like Matt Collins and some dudes like that, and I thought the player matched the role and the opportunity, and I was in. And then people started really steaming up Keon Coleman all offseason, and I was like, I see some of the vision there, but in the back of my head, I couldn't get rid of the fact that they went and just paid Josh Palmer right after drafting Keon Coleman. And some of these dudes, some of their metrics here are pretty similar, like the deep ball usage, the ADOT and target share. Some of that's not target share, sorry, but some of the deep ball usage here is very similar. And I think to me, the Bills see themselves in Keon Coleman improvements to be made. So they're not going to just sit there and let him have the job with no competition. So in comes Josh Palmer. And I think at this point, the way Palmer separates, he's just a better route runner than Keon Coleman, who doesn't get himself like wide open very well. And I think that's going to play into more targets, more catches, more yards, whatever, for Josh Palmer over Keon Coleman. So my bold prediction is Josh Palmer is going to outscore Keon Coleman this year. And when you're looking at Keon Coleman, he's about wide receiver 52. where you can get Josh Palmer at wide receiver 74. So that is a 22 positional ranking discount. And I'm going to be all over that, especially as a flyer guy. I don't think people are really talking about Josh Palmer a lot. His quarterback's talking about him. He has said lots of things about Josh Palmer, how he loves, his separation, his route running, stuff like that. Though catch radius, Josh Allen really likes this guy. So I think their relationship has developed here in camp. And yeah, man, I'm going to be drafting Palmer over Keon Coleman. Uh-oh.
And he just does it.
Oh, let's go.
Putting our money where our mouth is here on the fantasy forecast.
Oh, no, I tried. No, I'm kidding.
Josh Palmer, but and I think we're all aligned here. There's some ambiguity in that wide receiver room, and Keon Coleman, he lacks that separation skill to me, so I think he's going to struggle to earn those targets. And I think, like you said, let's follow where the money is. What are your thoughts on that, Biggs?
I liked him a lot last year, especially when Ladd McConkey was hurt. And, Quentin Johnston, I liked him. I liked him well enough, and he was doing pretty well. But I really like Josh Palmer, and I liked the move to the Bills. So, Schultzy, if I don't finish first in the Rainbow Bowl, I'm going to blame it on you.
There you have it. All right, folks, we got to touch base here on what's going on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network, FSN.com. We have the Jersey Leagues rolling out, and all you need to do to get into one of those elusive leagues is get a pro membership plus with FSAN, and you'll be entered to win a spot in one of the Jersey Leagues, whichever Jersey league you want to get into. Biggs, which one are you headlining this year?
Jackson Smith and Jigba, and my bold prediction is I'm winning that thing.
There it is. All right, let's hear from our sponsor while we're at it.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.
And shout out to the voice of Fantasy Sports Advice Network, Dan Mader, who was an excellent hang in Canton at the poker tournament and all the events that I was actually able to attend. And the rest of the FSAN crew, Tyler was out there and Kyle and everybody. It's such a great crew. And we actually got to meet some FSAN viewers. So next year, July 24th is the date of the Fantasy Football Expo. Mark your calendar. There is no excuse for not showing up because your kids are going to be in school, because they won't be on July 24th. So come out and hang out with us. It's a really, really good time. Even if you're not a content creator or whatever, there were a ton of people out there who were just players, just fans, and just wanted to meet the people that they see on their little screens here. And so we invite you all to come out and meet the whole crew.
Love it. Yeah, it's a great time. Now, Biggs, take out that ball that you make all your predictions on, and let's get your next one in here.
It's actually not a crystal ball. It's an onyx ball.
There it is.
No, okay. So my second bold prediction is that both Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott finish in the top 10 in quarterbacks in 2025. Now, that means that they have to displace a couple people, and I've got my eyes on a couple people that I could make a bold prediction will not finish in the top 10. But here's where I'm at with these two quarterbacks. The first I'll talk about is Brock Purdy. Now, the aforementioned Shanahan coaching tree, Brock Purdy, we know he is top 5 in the last 3 or 4 years in fantasy points per drop back, right? We know that he is a plug-and-play quarterback. It doesn't matter who his wide receivers are. He is going to score a ton of fantasy points, whether it's Juwan Jennings or Brandon Ayuk. He did it with Deebo Samuel. He did it when Samuel was hurt. Ayuk was hurt. He's got George Kittle. He throws to Christian McCaffrey. He's going to increase his numbers this year simply with having Christian McCaffrey on the field. And then you add to that, the San Francisco 49ers have the easiest schedule in the entire NFL. Okay? So he's going to be facing some of the most paltry defenses of any quarterback that's out there. So he's going to see an uptick in numbers, and he has a he has a QB6 finish in PPR leagues in the past. So we know that the ceiling is there. This is going to be the year that they put it together. They're not going to deal with the injury attrition that they did last year because they're going to have more rest between starts and things, between games and things like that. So big jump for Brock Purdy this year. Now, the reason I'm bringing both of these guys up is because they are available in the 9th round or later in your redrafts, which means that you can absolutely stock up on running backs. You can go bully tight end. You can get a whole stack of wide receiver ones before you think about quarterback. And if you're grabbing in the 10th and 11th round or 9th and 10th round Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott as your starter and backup, you're going to be in a really pretty position. The reason I bring up Dak Prescott is he has a trend over the course of his career where every other year he finishes as a top 10 quarterback. He didn't last year. This is the year that he does it again if the trend continues. On top of that, he has a legit deep threat, wide out, wide receiver 2 that he hasn't had in his career in Dallas to go alongside CeeDee Lamb in George Pickens. He is going to be chucking the ball. They're not going to be running a whole lot. They've got, not really. They don't have Emmitt Smith anymore. They don't have, the other guy. My brain. They're looking at Jadon Blue and Phil Maffa, the Maffa Mafia, whatever. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Dax is going to be chucking the ball, and he's got 2 legit wide receivers to be doing that too, plus Jake Ferguson, and the emergence of, like Kevontae Turpin and, other guys in that wide receiver room. And so this is the year Dak Prescott jumps back into the top 10. So that's my second bold prediction. Brock Purdy and Dak Prescott both jump back into the top 10.
Pretty solid call. I mean, Purdy's efficiency is well noted, especially in 2023. Obviously, injuries plagued both teams last year, and I'm looking for a bounce back for both of them. Yeah. So talking about a running back, I'm going to get into here is my next bold prediction, and some running backs are drafted for death, but TreVeyon Henderson was drafted to take over despite sharing the backfield with Ramondre Stevenson. Henderson, I think, has got every tool and every opportunity to finish as a top 12 fantasy running back. Yes, in his rookie season, the explosiveness is well documented. The pass catching profile is already respected. But what seals the deal, the Patriots' intent. They spent day 2 capital on Henderson, brought in Josh McDaniels, a coordinator known for unleashing dual threat backs, and now boasts one of the most improved offensive lines in the league. The situation is set and the door is open. Stevenson just signed an extension, but has never been consistent, especially in ball security, ranking among the league's leaders in fumbles, and that's where Henderson shines. It's clean, mistake-free style, and elite burst, out of gap scheme, makes him the perfect McDaniels RB1 prototype. He's already expected to handle passing downs and the 2-minute drill out of the gate, and it's only a matter of time before efficiency turns into volume, just like James White did before him, only now with more speed, more juice, and far more upside between the tackles. 7.1 yards per carry in 2024, led the Big Ten despite sharing the backfield with Quinshon Judkins, top 10 in yards after contact per attempt, twice in the last 4 college seasons, showing his elite toughness. 9th and highest breakaway run rate in 2023. His big playability is in his DNA. He's ideal for fantasy spike weeks. His 80th percentile speed score, that is a true home run hitter. And he averaged, 25% target share in McDaniels, running back rooms, 4 out of the 5 last season. So the scheme history, it shows a clear path to RB1 upside. So my bold prediction is I'm going to put TreVeyon Henderson as a top 12 running back in 2025.
Patriots RB1, same look, new great taste. I have huge hopes for Henderson this year, but let's be fair. The only reason he's going to finish in the top 12 is because Lan Larison broke his foot.
There it is. You have it. No, that was a tragedy. He was getting some speed, and you have to mention his name once again in a podcast, so you're good there. Now, Schultzy, let's get into your next bold prediction.
Well, I'm going to a division rival here as a Jags fan, and I'm talking about Cam Ward, the new quarterback, Tennessee Titans, #1 overall draft pick. So he's going right now at about, let's see here, 22 overall, quarterback 22 overall that is, and that's probably gained some steam in the last few weeks, I would think, because at one point this was definitely like low 20s, and I think he's going to be a very solid quarterback too for your team, probably in the 15 to 20 range, and a guy in especially 2 QB leagues, super flex leagues, that if you walk out with him, real late, like I think it's going to be a really solid bench quarterback for your team. One is that he's got Calvin Ridley. We've talked about this dude a million times, and the biggest thing we've talked about with Calvin Ridley is all the missed potential that was there for him last year with Will Levis. And we've, as a part of that conversation comes with step in Cam Ward, we're not expecting him to, take 100% of that missed stuff back, but like even a good chunk of it. And you're talking about a ton more fantasy points for this team and for the quarterback wide receiver duo. Second is the offense. They are going to keep pushing the ball down the field with Callahan here. And they've proven that with Levis, who stunk, and they just kept doing it with him. And I think they're going to give Cam Ward the same chance here. And he's looked really good in camp. He's really taken control of offense, and he's gotten really good reviews here. And I mean, he's done everything you want, and none of the camp reports have been bad. And when we get, this is going to sound really obvious, but like you get bad camp reports pretty quickly from guys who turn out to be bad. And we've gotten none of that out of Cam Ward. And lastly, is this defense is probably going to be pretty bad, and they're going to play from behind, and they're going to throw the ball, and they're going to be up tempo late in games, and they're going to be pushing it and just chucking the ball late, trying to play catch up. And we are going to rack up some garbage points for Cam Ward in this offense. So go ahead, draft him late and feel great about it. He's going to be a really nice QB2 for you.
And he would have been a QB1 if Treylon Burks didn't break his collarbone.
There you have it. bigz again, bringing in his guys into the conversation here. Treylon Burks, Lan Larison, love to hear it. Now, let's get into our spotlights here, folks. We got some bigger, badder, bolder predictions here, and I'm looking forward to hearing yours, guys, because mine's spicy. So, bigz, let's get into yours, buddy.
Let's go. All right, my bigz is big, bold prediction. It's kind of, you could say 4 predictions wrapped up into one. And that is that 0 Chicago Bears pass catchers are going to finish in the top 12, except Colston Loveland. All right. The best finish last year with Caleb Williams for the Bears was DJ Moore. Now DJ Moore has Romo Dunze, who was in the 30s last year, who might take a step forward. And they went out and they drafted Luther Burden, who is very similar to DJ Moore, but is going to be good enough that he's going to be pulling targets away from DJ Moore. And Romo Dunze's ceiling is not have such a huge target share jump that he's going to be, relevant in fantasy in the top 15, top 24 in fantasy anyway. So none of those guys are going to be wide receiver 2s, right? But then you have Colston Loveland. If we go back a couple of years and we look at what Ben Johnson did in Detroit with a rookie tight end named Sam Laporta stepped in and immediately became a top tight end in the NFL as a rookie. Well, it's the same system. It's now Ben Johnson taking over another team, but you also have Colston Loveland and his athletic talent taking over for Cole Kmet, who has traditionally been a top 10 tight end. So there is going to be a top 10 tight end coming out of Chicago again, but it's not going to be Cole Kmet. It's going to be Colston Loveland. And There's just too many mouths to feed. We've talked about it before. Caleb Williams isn't good enough at this point. Who knows if he's ever going to be. Rome Odunze is overrated. DJ Moore should be there, but at his best last year, he was wide receiver 15 or something like that. And Luther Burden is a rookie. It's going to take him some time, even though he's going to be really good. But the better he gets, the more he takes away from Rome Odunze and DJ Moore. So it's going to Colson Loveland and none of the other Bears. Sorry, Tears fans.
Huh, that interests me too, Biggs, because you haven't talked a whole lot of Colson Loveland this offseason amongst some other tight ends in different spots in startups and stuff like that. So I like this call. I think it's very bold, and it kind of falls along the same lines of where I'm thinking this offense is headed in Chicago as well. So good call, nice and bold. Folks, get some Colson Loveland shares if you got him now later on in drafts, because it looks like he's going to emerge here. All right, Schultzy, let's get into my spotlight here. My bold. All right, so this isn't just bold. It is my boldest call of the 2025 fantasy season, and that is Emeka Egbuka will finish as a top 15 wide receiver, and the path is already wide open. Chris Godwin, the Bucs' long-standing slot weapon, underwent 2 off-season surgeries and is doubtful to be ready for week 1. That leaves a massive opportunity for Egbuka to step in and own valuable snaps from the jump, and there's the thing here. Once he's in that role, I don't think he's going to give it back. Talent always wins in the NFL, and Egbuka's got it in spades. Polished, versatile, and he's pro ready, and that's already turning heads in camp. Tampa didn't just use a first-round draft capital on Egbuka to stash him behind an aging room. This is a team that saw the future and drafted it accordingly. Baker Mayfield already trusts him, calling him so smart and not acting like a rookie, and he fits perfectly into Josh Grizzard's system as a high IQ separator who can operate at all 3 levels. If Godwin sits, Egbuka starts. If Egbuka starts, he earns targets, and if he earns targets, this bold prediction starts looking more like a, not a hard lock, but something that could actually come to fruition here. He's got a 9.63 RAF, relative athletic score. He's agile. He's explosive. A 76% catch rate when lined up outside, meaning he can play both inside and outside. So he's got that versatility. His high target rate at Ohio State. He produced even with top 5 wide receivers in the room like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jeremiah Smith, and Baker Mayfield already given him that endorsement. I like where I see it here. We obviously can't discount Mike Evans, but he's aging as well. I still think Mike Evans is going to have a huge year as well, but this is Egbuka's situation, and I just like where I see it, and that's why I'm being so bold. I think he's going to play often, and I think he's going to play right out of the gate. He's my wide receiver breakout. He's my top bold call, and once the lightning strikes, don't say I didn't warn you, folks, because he's going to be hot.
Yeah, there were a couple things that came up as you were talking. Number one, every year we go through this period in the preseason where who's going to be this year's this guy and who's going to be this year's that guy and whatever. And last year the big thing was who's going to be this year's Puka, and some of us said it's going to be Malik Neighbors, and guess what? It was Malik Neighbors. Well, this year everybody's wondering who the next Malik Neighbors is going to be. But I want to tell you, I'd rather know who the next Ladd McConkey is, and that is Emeka Egbuka. Somebody that comes in, we know his talent level, but there are some questions as to where he sits in the depth chart. People didn't know what was going to happen with Ladd McConkey last year, and he finished as wide receiver 12. So I love this call. The other thing is I hope James Conner does real well for you, Grindberg.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, he will. It's a great league, and I'm solid. I'm solid there.
I traded my James Conner to Grindberg for Emeka Egbuka and Tyler Warren in Campus to Can League, and I just hope James Conner does well for you.
We'll do great. All right, Schultzy, get into your spotlight, man. Let's get into your boldest prediction of the season, man.
Okay, I'm going to predict something here. Just looked it up. It's only
That's a
happened
bold prediction. Schultzy's going to predict something.
Yes,
bold.
that's right.
Oh.
6 times this has happened in NFL history, and that is a running back to catch 100 balls. And I think it's happening again this year. And the man who is doing it is Achane. So we've seen him go here last year. He caught what? 78 catches on. I don't have the target number there in front of me, but 78 catches last year on 87 targets. He had 27 catches as a rookie. And if you take that math, he's on pace for 225 catches this year. It's that simple. I don't even need to say anything else. Take that spike year 2 and apply it to year 3, and boom, we're to the moon. But in all seriousness, I think last year the Dolphins kind of adapted in the way they used him as just like an oh crap player. Like, we need some yards, we need someone to make something happen. We're just gonna give it to Achane. Second, we got sacked on first down or we got a big penalty. We're just going to give him a screen real quick and let him gain some yards back. And you look at the Jonnu Smith trade and all those targets that are now vacated. And I've talked about how much I do not believe in Darren Waller and how I don't think he's going to step in and instantly command, even half those targets, maybe half the targets. But I just don't see him stepping on the field and filling in Jonnu's role like when he first signed. Some people were kind of pumping him for. I think a lot of that work is going to go right into Achane's hands, especially if this defense is not very good. Like we've seen the last years, they haven't been like the best defense, and I don't think they've really done much to improve that. They made that trade with the Steelers was real weird to trade Fitzpatrick and Ramsey. I know the Johnny stuff kind of was there as well, but that was just kind of an odd trade. I just don't think they've done anything substantial to improve this defense here, and I think we're going to see a lot of dump offs here. Tua's just going to be dropping it off to Achane, letting him work, letting him gain yards back for the offense. Look, he was only 13 catches away, that was targets, 22 catches away last year, and I don't see any reason why you give him some of those vacated targets, why he's not going to hit 100. I know it's only happened 6 times ever in NFL history, and it's absolutely crazy that Christian McCaffrey has 2 of those seasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we're adding another guy to the list this year. I love Devon Achane. Just give the dude the ball. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and that's a bold prediction. The only thing I can imagine getting in the way of that is if we see Tyreek Hill go. We saw him drop by 50 targets from 2023 to 2024. If he jumps back up into the 160, 170 target range, that might take a little bit of the opportunity away from Devon Achane. But if 2024 holds and Tyreek Hill is around 120, 130 targets, there's still that 40 target disparity that I think is going to be exactly what Achane needs. So that's a great call, Schultzy.
All right, boys, we did it. We did some bold predictions, some fire hot takes, and last year we hit pretty hard last year on these takes. So hopefully at this time next year we are also reliving our past and enjoying some fruit of our wombs here, because we crushed it last year and we're going to crush it again this year.
Say fruit of our wombs.
There you go.
At the beginning of the Achane segment, I was thinking, I bet somebody took 100 balls in Canton.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there you go. All right, bigz, take us home.
All right. Well, thank you for watching. We will be back next week with another edition of the Fantasy Forecast for all your redraft purposes right here on the Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all of the call to action things that we want you to do to make this show bigger and better and stronger and faster and all that stuff.
And bolder.
And bolder. And go buy the merch. Go to fantasysportsadvice.com and cop yourself some cool merch like that fantasy forecast ad. That's pretty dope, Mike. And also join, get a pro membership and join our jersey leagues. Come try and take this Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey out of my wrecked leg hand.
Out of your fruit of your womb.
All
right, folks. That jersey is the fruit of bigz' womb.
No, it's not.
Nope. Hope you win, folks.